Hey everybody, it is Coglin Arrow back again, and today we're going to run through the next 5 levels of Shadowland. As you can see, there is some scheduled maintenance coming up. Keep an eye out for that. It is 10 hours as of 10 a.m. Eastern Time until that starts. I will be trying to get a special patch notes episode out, so also keep an eye out for that. So, again, today we're going to go into... Let's see here. Into Shadowland. We're going to be doing levels 6 through 10 today. So let's go ahead and dig in here. For level 6, we have 2 rumbles and a relay. And as I told you guys yesterday, I do love to do the relays over the rumble modes. They use less characters, and weaker characters can complete them. So we're going to go ahead. Now, as you'll notice, we're going to start to have different rewards for every different mode. And so sometimes you may need a specific mode, in which case you'll want to go with one over the other. I am not too worried about the rewards, so I'm going to go for this custom gear 3-star with the relay mode. And this is going to be another combat. So let's go ahead and pull up our combats. Sorry about that. And as I told you yesterday, I do really enjoy playing Amadeus Cho. He is actually very good in these modes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Giant Man, which is going to get us the number 17, which max HP and dodge. But mostly he's just there to tag out Amadeus Cho if he starts to get hit a little hard. So let's go ahead and head in here. All right. And Amadeus Cho is, for me, a button mash character. It's very hard to go wrong. The only thing you need to do is keep up his buff skill, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a 6-star, or the number 5 skill down here. I will confirm that once we get into the actual match. This one is a replication of the first level of Shadowland that you saw yesterday. The same villains with Spider-Man and Hawkeye and that whole crew. So it's gonna play very similar. They're just a little bit stronger. And so right here, this 5, that is going to give us a substantial buff, which I will show you right here. All attacks up, and damage received is reduced, but we do need to get attacking. And you're able to keep all of these attacks kind of on cooldown if you play smart about it. We'll go ahead and call in Giant Man there for a moment to help us out. And then whenever that one comes up, we need to use it. But I have not honestly delved too deep into strategy with Amadeus Cho. I haven't needed to yet. I do want to tier 2 him at some point so that I can kind of look a little bit deeper into that and use him at much higher levels. I do see oftentimes a lot of hate for Cho. A lot of people that think that he is not able to kind of do the things that he actually does. And I'm not sure why. Maybe their build is a little bit different. I don't know, but I have always had quite a lot of success with him. And we're going to go ahead and buff. And then beat down. We've only got 2 guys left here. So this should be pretty quick cleanup. And there goes Ant-Man and Spider-Man. All right. Now, as you can see, he can button mash his way through level 6 pretty easily. And you do need to tag. I did need to tag him out once. Occasionally, I might need to tag him out twice, but it's very rare. Giant Man is also a great person to throw in there because he is a striker for Amadeus Cho, so he'll tag in and hit occasionally. So again, we have the same setup, 2 rumbles and a relay. This relay is the same. It's really trying to eke me down on combat characters, but let's take a look and see if we can't piece together something here. May have to dip into our tier 2s because I do want to save She-Hulk and Werewolf for the later levels. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our low damage tier 2 Moon Knight. And I'll go ahead and, let's see here. I shouldn't need to tag him out, but I'll see if he has anybody that he can have a team with. It doesn't look like that. So let's go into our team bonuses. Just like we did with World Bosses, we're going to go in here. We're going to take a look and see if there's anybody we don't need later on. And as you can see, a lot of my stronger characters he likes to team up with, but that's okay. Don't see us using these two very often, so we'll go ahead and throw that in, and that gets us quite a bit of extra physical attack, which he needs. He decreases debuff duration, so if you have somebody that has a better leadership bonus, his is not great. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. So a properly built Moon Knight is going to be nigh invincible at tier 2. He heals when he gets below a certain level. I have an invincibility obelisk on him, and I also believe I have a huge bonus to recovery, my double recovery obelisk on him as well. So he's going to be able to basically never die. The issue is, though, that again, he doesn't deal the best damage in the world. So as you can see, it is not a lot of damage that he is dealing. But with this team, we do have those strikers coming in. They're not going to be dealing a huge amount, but they're definitely going to help. And with him, I try to make sure to use his 5 whenever I can, just because it does have an iframe, and then 3, I believe, has a small iframe attached to it. But it doesn't really matter, because he's not going to get killed. You'll be able to see, because I'm... Oh, there he went. He went ahead and dinged a little heal. He has his uniform, but I have a invincibility obelisk on him, and so even if they do get him down low, he's going to go invincible and then immediately heal, basically back up to full at the percentage of healing that I have on him. I'll let you take a sneak peek at him. I am planning on putting together some guides for characters, so shout out in the comments if there's a particular character that you would like to see a guide for. As long as I have them available, I am reasonably knowledgeable about them, I'll go ahead and get that guide put together. I'm hoping to get a couple of guides out next week. This week I am mostly focusing on getting through Shadowlands. I may put a guide out on Friday, though. But I'm trying to get one Shadowland out every day this week. So, and as you can see, he's just invincible. You never have to switch him out. I prefer having the strikers, but even without the strikers, he can pretty much solo this low of a level. So if you do need to save those guys for team-ups later on, if you have a specific one in mind, then you don't really need them. Just allow him to kind of handle. Now, his debuff duration does come in a little bit handy in here because Spider-Man does like to debuff with the webbing. And from what I understand, it does lower the percentage on that. And as you can see, I'm getting the closest to running out that I will with a tier 2. Ant-Man, I run into similar issues with as well, because he is very low damage, but he also is not quite as invincible as Moon Knight is. And there we go. That is Shadowlands level 7 with Moon Knight tier 2. Alright, number 8. And so we have a couple of relays here. We have another combat relay. And then we have our universal relay, and then there's I believe that's a speed rumble. No, hero rumble. And that rumble is, if you look, it has the new Avengers. That one is particularly challenging. So if you do want kind of Shadowland hard mode, that is definitely where you want to go. I do not, though. And so I'm going to go with our universal relay. And let's see who we want to use here. We will go ahead and pull out Ghost Rider. He gives fire resist as well. So when we do switch out somebody to take care of the Ghost Rider over here, we're going to be able to take less damage from him. So what we need is somebody that is going to be able to tank him. Let me take a look here at Black Bolt. I am not sure what I have leveled up on Black Bolt, but we will take a look. And if he is set up, yeah, we've got 18 and 19. I've got a pretty solid obelisk. I got him immunity to guard break and a little bit of heals. And then, yeah, all of our skills are maxed out. Let's give him a shot. This will be my first time taking Black Bolt into Shadowland. So, no telling how that is going to go. But we're going to find out. He should be able to mop up after Ghost Rider is done. Now, this Ghost Rider, this uniform, I believe it's the Attilan uniform, but it comes with the old-timey car. That's the main reason I got it, was just because I liked it. But it also turns one of his skills into invincibility, which is incredibly strong, as you're able to time it. You're able to keep him invincible most of the time, but you're able to time it when, you know, Thor's about to throw down a lightning strike or something of that sort, and it is, it's quite good. So definitely I recommend this uniform over all others for Ghost Rider. And 2 is the ability that keeps him invincible. As you can see, it's only about 3 seconds of invincibility, but on a 5-second skill. And again, my skill cooldown is not maxed out, so you could probably get it where he only has 1 second of vulnerability. And as you can see, he is attacking Ghost Rider, so we want to move him over here so that he starts attacking Thor, because he is doing us no good trying to down Ghost Rider, who is immune to all of his fire effects. As you can see, he still takes some damage from the physical hits with the chain, but not nearly as much as Thor was taking. And here we again want to switch over to fight Ronan. Now, as you can see, with his setup, it is pretty easy to take down these guys. This is actually the most damage I have had him take. So let's try out Black Bolt. Alright, so I have no idea what any of these abilities do. I have not looked over him. I have not researched him at all. I did ask the Alliance about if the guard break obelisk was good, and I got a kind of a thumbs up from a couple of people there, so I threw that onto him. But as far as everything else, though, I do like that number 2, as it is makes him invincible. I have the uniform for him, which I got during the uniform sale, mostly just because I had heard that he was pretty good for Shadowlands, and so I decided to start investing in him. And so now we can see, alright, we're going to switch out just long enough for Black Bolt to heal, as Ghost Rider is not able to DPS down Ghost Rider, even with that little bit of damage that he deals from his physical attacks. As you can see, he's taken a little bit. I have tried it, and I tried to DPS him down from 2 minutes, and was not able to, with nobody else around. So that was an irritating 2 minutes, and very disappointing at the end. And here we go. Almost there. So I'm going to learn a little bit more about Black Bolt, because I do eventually want to put together a video guide for you guys, as he is quite good. As you can see, he's very good. I got that heal proc off of his obelisk, and that kind of sealed the deal there. So there we go. That was, I believe, level 8 in Shadowland. Let me confirm that. Yeah, that was level 8 in Shadowlands. So now let's go into level 9. Now here is the point where it starts to get a little more complicated. As you can see, we have now wave modes. That's where enemies appear in waves. Where, let me go in here. You're going to have these 3, and each one will come out, and they'll have spawn lots of mobs. So you need a lot of AoE if you're going to take this out. And as you can see, it says take it on with a formidable team. There's no type limitations. but it is a very, very challenging mode. That's another place to go if you want hard mode. Depending on who you pull in. If you pull in like Loki, she's going to be able to clear it no problem. But this one is a boss battle where you have one boss who spawns small little tubs or cauldrons in the background. Those cauldrons give them random buffs throughout the fight, and they are just a particularly strong character. And if you kill the cauldrons, then you make the boss weaker for a short period of time. And then we have our classic relay mode. I like this relay mode because it's male heroes, of which I have plenty. So if we go hero, we can scroll down past our tier 2s, and we can find some male heroes. This guy, Phil Coulson, is absolutely super strong now with some of his buffs. When I recommend highly tier 2ing him, can't wait to get him maxed out. And then we're going to go ahead and pull in Hellstorm and Wiccan. And this is going to be one of my last. Actually, now I want to save him in case we have another universal relay. Normally you have one or two more universal relays as options. So let me pull out Hellstorm though. I'm going to pull in Iron Man. All of these on their own are kind of weak characters. I mean, he has some great buffs, but on their own they're pretty weak characters. So I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. We do have I Am the Iron Man, which is Phil Coulson and Iron Man's team up. That allows us to ignore defense 4.9%, which is one of the strongest abilities you're going to find. And then also a boost to critical damage, and then we have our 6 stars. So we're going to give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And see if we can manage to pull it off. Now, Coulson, he has 2 summons, and then a couple of kind of weak abilities. The summons don't really pull much aggro. I believe that they're supposed to pull aggro, but I rarely have them pull aggro off of me. I couldn't tell you why. Now, the Melinda May summon is going to be pretty weak because, again, this is male heroes, and so summons are placed under that as well. Oof. As you see, we've got, we are doing very poorly. This is probably going to be in need of a restart, and we'll probably go with a different team, as this is ending very, very badly. As you can see, I've already had to switch out to my 3rd character, and he is taking a beating. Now, Wiccan has that nice move that silences, but that is not going to help much. Ugh, all of Coulson's abilities are super weak. And we're going to go for this. Well, we got one down, so that's something. And now we're doomed. We can't switch him out. We are going to lose, so let's just go ahead and pull out. Alright, so my first failure of the video. And I didn't have high hopes for that, but all's well that ends well. And I normally, when I have male hero, I choose hero just to make sure that the characters I pull up are actually heroes. And then let's see here, let's keep him. We're going to go with a tier 2. We're actually going to pull in, where is he? Okay, I must have used Ant-Man yesterday. That's alright. Then let's go with... Oh, I hate to use him now, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Hellstorm. So, I like to use him on the Universal Relay level with Thor, as they complement each other pretty well. But, desperate times, I'd rather have Thor on a Universal Relay than Hellstorm. And I have just recently gotten Hellstorm up, so we will see how he operates, and who knows, I may have to switch out again. Alright, Hellstorm is fire-based, so definitely you want to pull in all of your fire obelisks, anything that can help that out. I am eventually going to have, let's pull in him, have Red Hulk maxed out, and he will team up well with him as they both have high bonuses to their fire damage. And so I do have an invincibility obelisk, I believe, on him. No, with movement speed. Well, I think it still has. I am not sure. I'd have to. Oh boy. And Hellstorm is down. And Coulson is down. Well, we are in a bit of trouble here. Let's go ahead and pull out. And we're going to try this again. Now, I run into problems around 10 to 15, in this case 9, when I'm trying to get as much mileage out of my tier 1s as possible. Because let's look, we've got left, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 tier 2s, who all should be able to, all of these tier 2s should be able to solo a level for us. So, with, what was that, 9, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 17. So with 17, we actually could go ahead and start using our tier 2s to solo. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's see what Spider-Man is one of my lower damage tier 2s. So we will go ahead and try to pull him in with a team without a tier 2. There we go. These guys are good for that. And let's go ahead and give this a shot. Here we go. Alright, with Spider-Man, you're mostly going to be relying on on webbing him and everybody around him. So, you're going to want to group them together. He is able to web at a distance with his number 1 move. I'll show you in a second. He jumps up and he shoots his webs out. Normally it webs both people. Now, if he gets into a hairy situation, he's also got this neato iframe. Let's see here. And then he also has this move that will web in a pinch. It looks like I got both people with that one. Now, I like to team him up with Miles Morales, because Miles will pop in occasionally and web up people as well, which is handy dandy. And if you have a skilled cooldown maxed out, you should be able to, and have him at tier 2, you should be able to have him, have all the characters webbed up indefinitely as long as you're on top of that first ability, because it does have a very, very short cooldown, 6 seconds, and those webs are, I believe, 5 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're able to get that down a little bit lower than mine, you can have it at 5 seconds, with the webbings being 5 seconds, and be able to keep them indefinitely webbed. Now, I'm not as concerned because it does take them a second after they get de-webbed for them to kind of get their bearings and figure out what's going on. So I have time to hit that in that kind of 1 second time frame. And then once you're down to 1, you should not have any problem keeping them webbed up, as you've got 2 abilities to web them with and plenty of time to use them. So if you wait until it gets down to 2, and then you hit him again. Now, this one webs him, as you saw, for 5 seconds. Number 2 webs him for, I believe, only 3 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look here. 1 second. Yeah, just 3 seconds. So, you will want to keep that in mind. But it does have a 3 second cooldown, so you could still use that one to keep them webbed consistently. Spider-Man is a great choice for tier 2. I highly recommend him, have not regretted him. I haven't really regretted any of my tier 2s, though Ant-Man, I feel like I probably could have used that better, but he's still plenty good. Alright, so we're going to get a few more biometrics here with whichever route we go. We have the Rumble mode that is, I believe, villains. No, Universal type Rumble, but that's a Rumble. That's not a relay like we were doing before. Then we've got the Wave mode again. This one is a villain's advantage. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and head back in to do our male heroes. So let's go ahead and have heroes. And I'll go ahead and show off my Black Panther. I'm a big fan of Black Panther, both in the comics and in the game. He is able to pretty much stay invincible if you play him right. And we're going to go ahead and go with the battle for antimatter because I do love the all attack and the all defense. The cooldown is nice, but not necessary. But the attack plus defense I feel is better than the attack plus attack speed. Your mileage may vary. You can also keep in mind that you have these guys down here solo. Sometimes I will use White Tiger with him to work with Black Dwarf. I only have Black Dwarf at 1 star, so he can't really solo anything. Black Dwarf and Daredevil is also a pretty solid choice. But we're going to go ahead and go with this team, the Battle for Antimatter. And we'll have Iron Man doing some damage. And worst case scenario, we can switch him in to get a little bit of heals off of the switch in for my VIP. I definitely recommend spending enough to get up to the VIP level to have those heals. Those heals are substantial in this late game content. Alright, so with him, we have a very specific group of strategy we want to use. We want to use 5. Once that is done, you see that gave him invincibility. We use those 2 abilities. And then immediately go into 4. 4 is an iframe now. They updated his character so that 4 is an iframe. And between those two, kind of pick your poison there. I like the 3-1 combo a lot because it throws him away and then he can still attack from that distance. Whereas if you do 3 and then 2, he has to get closer. 2, I believe, does do a lot more damage, though. There, I accidentally used 4 a little early, which leaves us kind of exposed. That's okay. We're using him pretty low level. And now if you keep 5, and then as soon as your invincibility falls off, you jump into 4, you're going to be able to keep pretty invulnerable. I have about a second with my cooldown of vulnerability, but I mean, you could potentially have him not be able to be damaged for the entirety of the time you are out and about. Except when he gets stunned. When he gets stunned, that's a bit of a problem. But as you can see, Tier 2 Black Panther is going to be able to rip through any mid-tier. And I've had him complete 21 or 20, not 21. 21, I believe, requires a villain. But one of the higher levels might be 19. There's one that allows a male superhero. But this is going to finish up. And as you can see, we never needed to switch out. And we got it done. Alright, so that is 6 through 10. Tomorrow, we're going to get 11 through 15. And then on Thursday, we'll have to get through the last, actually, all the way up to 25. I have a little more time on Thursday, so I'll make 2 videos, and we'll have 2 videos on Thursday for you guys. Again, we are going to go in and go ahead and gather up all of our rewards. The best part of Shadowland, getting those goodies. And we got 280 gold, 170 dimension debris, and 180 guck. Not anything I'm in particular desperate need of, but still nice. And we add another biometric. So yesterday I let you guys know that whichever of my 5 stars gets the most mentions in the comments on these videos, I'm going to use all of my bios that are in my inventory. So right now we've got 185 bios, so we can almost get some people up to 6 stars, but whichever of my 5 stars here that you want. So we've got Rocket, we've got Superior Spider-Man Doc Ock, we've got Hulk, and that is, of course, the Planet Hulk costume, because that uni is awesome. The uni effect is not all that great, but the uni itself looks awesome. We've got Sif, we've got Deathlock, we've got Crystal, we've got Mockingbird, we've got Miles Morales, and Rocket Raccoon. I don't know if I mentioned him. So just comment which one of those you want to see me get up to 6-star next. And once we've got all of our bios, we will try to make that happen. So look for a bonus video today on the patch notes, and I'm going to try to get you a video, at least 2 bonus videos each week, which are just going to be shorter ones that go over some smaller detail, or they might be humorous. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and to like and to comment. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.